based solution, and this allows me to, again, direct and maintain and manage the system. This is the quick look page. This is my weather forecast page that tells me what's going on at my different sites. Arrows are up here, all arrows are up, but this one's yellow. I can, from a maintenance perspective, make things real easy. I can do a firmware or software change, restart, reboot, enable, or run idle. One of the things we talked about was upgrades, and I told you they're inexpensive. Another thing we do is we tell you don't maintain the phones. Because of our centralized architecture, the firmware we push to the phones you're going to get anyway at no charge. The phones are covered on a warranty for 13 months. If they're going to break, component-wise, that's when it's going to happen. So let's drive that cost out of your business. But the nice thing is you guys can do a maintenance upgrade and an update, and who's put out the email that on Friday night at 7 o'clock we're going to upgrade the network or upgrade the phone system. And there's one or two overachievers that decide they're going to work, right? You want to go home. Well, go ahead. Because when they hang their phone up, we're going to commandeer it, push everything out to it. They're going to have to wait a few minutes, and then they'll be upgraded. So the other 99 phones are done, and that last one can be done while you've got your feet up with the favorite cold beverage of your choice and you're handing mom on right now. So we build those kind of simple things in and try to build that simplicity. Again, I can go to these different sites and see what's going on. So I'm going to look at Sunnyvale here, and I see that I've got something going on with my demo switch. It's precautionary, it's working. But I want to see what's going on. What it tells me is I've got something going on with my phones. So it's going to take me to my diagnostic tool and give me a little more detail about what's going on. What it tells me is that I've got some phones that are disconnected. I put different kinds of phones in and out of this demo kit all the time. If I were to plug them back in, based on these MAC addresses, they would come back up and refresh. So that gives me that level of information. I can also create a topology map that shows me what's going on in my network, and if I click on this here, it gives me a better level of detail of my systems and what's up and going. I can even run some different reports from the dashboard here. Again, I don't have any outside lines, but it's going to tell me my CPU utilization on my switches, my trunk utilization, keep those guys honest, those types of things, and I can look at my users and see how they're performing, and I can see that in real time. I can put that up on the screen. I even have a trunk test tool that's built in. So if you call a carrier and say my circuit's it doesn't seem to be working, I'm like, nope, it's fine on my end. A lot of carriers, Charter doesn't do this. We'll just test up to where their router comes out of their building, go, it looks good. Well, who knows what's going on that wire between, right? You can run a truck test tool all the way back to them and go, channel X on my T1 is kind of a problem. Or you can provide that to them. I also, with Director, I get the ability to set event alerts if I want. And I can do that on different entities, lots of components I can do here based on what I want to do. We do this in the Kansas City area a ton. One we do it on is 911. When you are in Missouri and you call 10 minutes away, and when they dial 911, it sends an email to whoever I want to in the business, including the secretary up front, so they can call 911 dispatch folks and say, hey, this was done in the air. It's also a great training tool because you'll know who actually did it. So I can send an alert, but I can send an alert on anything I want, from a precautionary to a switch down or whatever I want it to be. I have full documentation down here, user's guides and all those pieces, and individual installation guides by product. But the key thing we have is the help button. The help button drives me to the latest documentation, so when I upgrade or update individual users, we're going to add a user. And it's really tough. Add new user. That's supposed to be fun. Pick the site and I hit go. Who would like to be my new user? JER. Okay, last name again?
Leonard. Leo.
Okay. And I can pick the extension, I can have the system pick it for me. I can do it based on the DID range. So if the next DID available was 314-555-6677, then your extension would be 6677. I can create an extension mailbox. When I do that, you get personal communicator, no charge, call control. If I want soft phone or video, or if they're in a work group, ACD, that's when I pick these licenses. With a professional F2 operator, there's an additional charge. It's pretty nominal. But I can pick which one I want here. And I can pick the phone if I want to, or I can assign a phone later. Any of that kind of fun stuff I want to do. And then down here, Jerry's going to get a welcome email. But even before her phone arrives, it's going to say, here's your new Shoretel phone, here's your extension, here's how you default into voicemail, set it up, all that stuff's going to be there. Then I'm going to hit save, and now Jerry's in the system. Based on what their job function is, executive staff, and when you do that, it'll populate the kind of model of phone you want and everything. You can build templates for that. The speed dial keys, you can do all that up front. I wanted to show you how easy a move was. We've done a move, add, and a change right here in about 10 minutes. The idea of this also is if you've got multiple sites as United Way, or you do as a travel agent, I know Charter does, if you want to go work at another office and it's on a Shoretel system, you can walk into a conference room, and since you're already set up, you can hit the voicemail button, pound your extension and password 731, and now you can use that Shoretel phone in the conference.
And that's on any phone?
Yep.
And that's not by license?
No, we license the user, not the phone. So you can absolutely do that. You can even do that, the extension, assign yourself to use not analog phone somewhere if you want. But the beauty is that you can go in a conference room and use the phone. So you can move stuff around pretty easy. At the end of the day, you can just go back and hit 732, or when you get back to your desk will say anonymous, so you'll know to log back into your phone. We also build all our phones, as you heard from when she recorded her voice, that is our really nice, expensive speakerphone right there with the extension mic, the big phone over there. The microphone's on the top with 12 directional mics. But they can be expensive. They're almost $800 list. So you can put any style of phone you want in a conference room, and it'll work as a conference room phone very effective. We do that for two reasons: to drive cost out, and if you've got one of those star phones or the flying saucer looking phone, if you want a little privacy in the conference room, it's really embarrassing to pick that up and stick it to your ear. So we make all of our conference room phones dual purpose, right? Without spending time on it. So that's why we do it that way. I just wanted you to see how easy a move was to do a user. Because we're IP based, a user can actually just unplug their phone, and if your network is designed right, and most are designed today based on VLANs and quality service, class of service, they can pick their phone up, move upstairs to a new office, plug it in, and it'll auto find them, and away they go. So there's lots of ways to do it.
So when you do it the way you did it, it sends the MAC address to it.
I'm sorry.
So when you do it the way you did it, on the phone, it sends the MAC address to it?
Yeah, and if you were to refresh that right now, it should show on the right phone what you're actually currently assigned to.
And the reason we do that is for 911 purposes. It labels you to the MAC address. Because if it's still showing you at your other phone on the other floor or across town, and you were to call because you fell and bumped your head for 911, they're going to go to the wrong building. So we want to make sure we track it by MAC address. Keeps the warriors off our backs. Right? The warriors on everything. Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, that's actually take that back. I can warm it up later. No, that's no problem. I appreciate that. Any questions on direct? Does it seem pretty straightforward, fairly easy? Key point is it's web-based. So
It does voicemail too.
yep, the voicemail's automatically set up for them. Yep. The key thing is it works from any web browser, so I can literally do a system upgrade from the smart device. Because all I have to do is hit on a browser, log in, and away I go. And we do have customers who do it a lot. I have one he pulled off to the side of the road, he told me he bought a smartphone. He was on vacation, somebody else could do it, so he did it. Very prominent, very relevant. This is why. This is the product here called Communicator. And what I can do here is instead of saying somebody's name, I can just type a J, and there you are. Then I just click, and you can answer the call, and you send it to voicemail, or you send it to voicemail.
So that happens all the
Good
time.
job.
Happens a lot. I
Good
can do that, but I'm gonna hang up, because this is the interactive part, where I type Jerry again. This time we're going to answer please and put the extension. And now, look at all the functions I've got here. Hold, hold music, transfer, conference, video, because I've got the video point-to-point piece built in. I can hang up, or I can create a routing slip that everybody in the system sees what I'm doing. And if I want a conference in Kenny, I can just say conference, so it's like Kenny. And there's Kenny Powers, and when I pick Kenny, I can build in different functions. I can conference him straight in, I can consult him first. I could intercom him if I had that active. I can even do something called whisper page. Kenny's on the phone, and I need to conference him in. And I can see when his presence he is. I can hit whisper page and whisper in his ear, Jerry and I need to talk to you right away. And somebody's just yammering away on the line. They don't hear it. Kenny does.
Oh, he hears that?
He
in the
hears it.
phone?
Kenny can hit the mute button on his phone and go, I'll be with you in a couple of minutes, and the person still yammering away never hears any of that conversation. He unmutes it, finishes his call, and gets on the way we go. So we can conference Kenny in here by hitting the conference. And we set up, and you can go ahead and answer if you would. And now the routing slip shows that we've got that on there. And I've got the ability to hang up, or in Kenny's case, Kenny and I have instant messaging. We didn't set that up for Jerry. So I could instant message Kenny from right here if I wanted to. And that pops up here, we can talk.
But can you only answer messages when you have a call?
No, I can instant message you all, I'll show you that.
So this is like a presence too.
This is absolutely a presence. You really haven't seen this before?
Well, not here, I've seen it with other assistants.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, see, this shows his presence here, and this shows he's on the phone. And if I go over here to my contacts tab, and if I go in, I want to build another contact here. There you are. I hit OK. I've added Jerry now. Now I can see here on my contacts, I also can see here that they're on the phone, or I can see that Pierre is in do not disturb, and I can see what their IM and their phone presence is. But I built this conference here, and if I go back to my routing slip, I can even add a note here. And when I add that in, now it goes as part of the routing slip. Everybody in the Shoretel system is going to see this information and that. Again, this is a inexpensive CRM tool built into the system. I use the term in the sauce. One, because we're in a tight restaurant, but two, because it is. It's just like ragu, it's just all in the sauce. You just use whatever you want. So all this information is here, and I get a lot of detail of what's going on with the call. But it's very easy, very simple to do. And this is the great productivity tool, because I keep standing up waving my arms like a crazy guy. But what I have is the ability to stay focused here. If I'm part of a work group and I want to monitor somebody, or customer service, or I want to speed dial somebody, I can build as many keys and function keys up here as I want. There's a limit, but you won't hit it. I can build a lot of function keys up here to do different things that I want to do.
So there's a corporate directory and a personal directory.
Yes. Yep. And we also can import from Active Directory. So when you build somebody in Active Directory, when you build a user period, we can import from there. And we can also import your directory or your contacts from Outlook. We can do that kind of seamlessly. Term I like is automatic. So I can go ahead here and hang it up. And you guys can hang up as well. And that terminated that call. But if I go back over here to my history key, which gives me the last 1,000 functions I did, or I'm doing, on the phone system. And oh, by the way, I can view this any way I want. I can dock it left, right, top, bottom, minimize it. I can drag these tabs off and throw them on a separate monitor. I can set this up any way that makes me happy. And this case, I'm gonna expand this out so we can see. And as you see here, it shows that we had a conference call with Patricia Jackson and those two folks, and it even has the number. I can sort by name, sort by start time, date, number, whatever I wanna do. And if you wanna go up to one of your folks and say, hey, our director wants to know what you've been doing in the last day as far as calls. I don't have time to run a report. Okay. I'll just do export history here. Bada bing, bada boom. Pops it up in Excel. I just change my columns here, sort how I want it. Hit save, attach it to an email, and I'm done. So very, very easy to do. If I want,
Everything you're doing there is controlling that phone?
yes.
Is that only because it's plugged in, or do you know
It's when you build your licensed users, so we build extension and mailbox, and then we assign them to a phone. So this goes anywhere I go, and then I assign myself to my phone.
So it controls any phone your profile.
Yes,
Okay.
it's call control. All it is call control. That's my talk path, this is my call.
Do you have soft phones too?
We do. That's the professional license. And that's where I can go up here and pick what phone I want. I can do a soft phone where my PC becomes my phone. We have everything built in personal communicator. That's everything but using this. Because the click to call features everything I do on here. I just use that physical talk path. There's two schools of thoughts there. You can do that if you want. But by the time you buy a nice USB headset and pay the additional charge, you might have been able to buy an expensive phone that was for $189 or $420. So you might be able to do that. The other thing is that anything I can do on here, I can do on the phone. So what of that is that Microsoft builds this feature called the blue screen of death, right? So you have to 3 key. If that happens, if you turn your laptop off or your hard drive dies and you've got a soft phone, the technical term is SOL. Sorry, out of luck, right? You don't have anything. If that dies and this goes away, I still have my physical phone. So that's why we do it. The phone is a great redundant tool for it.
So what about remote users?
Okay. We do something called extension assignment. See, this says mobile, you configure phones. I can assign myself. So first of all, can I do 20 where I ring 2 phones at once? Yes. Can I do find me where it rings 2, 3 times and then I ring another phone, another phone, another phone, it chases me around the barn? Absolutely. We do something exclusive that we only do that's very unique called extension assignment. I can assign my phone to any DID. So I can assign my phone to my mobile phone. So now when you call my 408-900-1253 number, my cell phone answers. I still have your call pop up on Communicator. I still have all the functions, all my soft keys that you see here, my conference, my directory, my transfer, all that stuff is still here. So this could literally be a Candlestick Mayberry phone, right? It's just an analog, pick it up and talk. But I'm going to have all this 21st century functionality here and use that simple analog. So I can assign myself to an analog phone. I can
If you
assign
have to be on the network,
Huh?
then still you have to be on the network.
To use the call control piece, yeah, you need to be on the network, but the phone will still work. I can be off net and have myself extension assigned, and when somebody calls me, it rings here. And they
So
think
it forwards the call to
it actually doesn't forward the call, it's ringing it here. My desk phone will say anonymous because I'm assigned it here. So there's no couple of rings. The first ring goes right here.
and it can be your home analog phone.
Yep, I do that for my home analog phone. If I popped up my communicator on my PC, I've got about 6 or 8 phones listed. Because I have the lake house, it works right there. I have the lake house, I have my mobile phone, I have multiple partners where I go and use their phone. It used to be I use it a lot more with mobility. Now I'm being able to use this on Wi-Fi. I don't have to worry about cost. But I use it a lot for call quality because I can use that analog phone. I use my analog phone at home all the time. The nice thing is if I'm using this extension assignment and I'm assigned to a home phone or my mobile, I can double click on your name or click on your name like I did before here on Communicator. What it's going to do is it's going to ring this phone first. I'm going to answer, then it's going to connect the call out. And you're going to think I'm calling you from 408-900-1253, and I'm calling from my analog phone in Lenexa campus. you don't have any idea. Or wherever I'm at. If I miss the call, it goes to corporate voicemail. It doesn't go to that phone. You gotta set your rings right. Because if you set it too early, like I had my wife had it set for 2 rings, I went to voicemail phone.
So that would fix, so one of our issues is, with mobile phones is, people not having that. We could bring them this person.
Yeah.
And force them to.
Absolutely. I can also go across here and set up what we call handling mode. Standard in an office, in a meeting, and I can configure that for custom greetings if you want. And on that custom greeting, mine, when it's in a meeting, says, you've reached the office of Jeff Potter with Shoretel according to my Outlook number in their meeting. Hit 0 for the operator, and that isn't sending it to the main operator. I send it to our sales help desk. I get to decide who 0 is.
Oh.
It's not hit star pound, grab your right earlobe, hit 254, you want to hit Sally. You just put Sally's extension in there and away you go. Done deal. Or in my case, I also say press 1 to have a system find me, and it'll chase me down on this thing. And the other really cool thing I like about it, is I don't do this, but a lot of folks do, is you can force someone to announce or record their name before it's transferred to your phone. So the slick sales guy who knows how to match caller ID, if you put that on there, I can't do that. I have to announce myself. If I don't, I just don't speak voice.
That's called a company.
Yep. Yep. It's a very good feature. We call that the elimination of the stalker, right? So I can do that. So I just hit apply and I'm done with all those features and away I go. I also, because I have full Outlook integration, if I come over here to calendar, I can set a calendar event. And look, I have a meeting. Looks the same, right? Voicemail. Everybody loves voicemail, right? So I've got voicemail. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete this one. And I've deleted that. And so what I'm going to ask is from that phone there, hit the speaker phone and dial 2114, if you would. Or just hit 2114. Speakerphone should come on. And I'm going to send you to voicemail. Do what you did to me. And I'll leave the message.
Extension 2114. Please leave a message for yourself. When finished, you may hang up or press pound for additional options.
Hey, this is Jeff with Shoretel. I want to give you a quick call back. Thank you for coming to Lunch and Learn. Maybe we can catch up next week when you get a second. Call me back, and if you need my cell, it's 913-706-6516. Okay, bye. Hang up. And I get a beep. My message waiting indication light comes on. It comes on bold here. And I get a bold message here in Outlook. So I have total integration of that. And I handle it once. So if I touch it here to play it, it just puts a little audio player up. It's a little 2K file. We're not messing with Active Directory, just pointing to the voicemail. And I'm able to play it and listen to it here. Notice the red light went off. When I play it here. Notice no longer, let's get rid of that. No longer bold. And if I want to play it from here, I can choose to play it from the phone, or I can play it from my PC. I play mine from my PC because I travel. So I can just fire up my laptop or my Surface and play it. Hey, Jeff, you know, like you can still hear me? Call me back. So those people, if you leave their phone number at the speed of sound, and it just shows what a great speakerphone it is. You can walk clear across the room and it still picks
Is
it
it a
up.
WAV file?
In this case, no. What we're doing is just pointing this player back and we're listening to it as a stream. If I want to make it a WAV file, I can set up that all of my voicemails are a WAV file if I want.
See, we're in a particularly different situation. Our Outlook is hosted.
Okay.
Down inside. Because we are hosted with a group that hosts a lot of them, although they don't pay Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So we can usually, now, I guess my question is, can you turn that off and on per person? Per user?
You could turn it on per profile or per voicemail. Because it's going to the delete file until 2 a.m. the next morning. You can change that, but they go there. So all they have to do, if they delete it, is go here, page down, and there it is in the deleted file. And I can even mark it as unheard. The light comes back on, and I can move it back to my inbox if I want, and now it's back in my inbox.
So you can listen to your boss's voicemail and they'll never know.
If you give them that right, you can. That could be part of the bridge call appearance. And I also, if I'm in work groups or ACDs, I can have those are also appear here, but they're separated out so I know where those voicemails are coming from.
Now, can you, with that, the assistant boss, the line appearance thing, you set it up so that the monitor your line will not see, not have access to your voicemail?
Yep, if you want to. Yep. And you can have it ring both lines. There's a lot of different things. The best way to do that is you just don't tell them the password. But yeah, you can have it to where if they click on it, you know, you are not allowed to have that preference. They just use it. But you also, if they don't know the password, they know their extension, they can type the extension 1, 2, 3, 4, and they go, what's the password? So
What about like a receptionist? Is there an auto attendant?
there is. We have auto attendant to where we can take a number of receptionists or operators, admin, whatever you want to call them, and build them into a work group. So if one has to get up and potty or go have lunch, they can do that. And the calls flow over to someone else so they can log themselves out. But what we also do in the case of, you can really argue that about money, because it was the next tab. Because on the contact tab, if I have an operator license, which I do here, I see their presence, right? So I can see what's going on. So let's say from that phone, call Jerry at
2929?
yeah 2929 if you'd answer. If you want to answer it.
Pick up the receiver.
Okay, and then I see they're on the phone, so I know they're not available. But I can, if I really need to talk to you, Jerry, I can just do this, do alert when available, and it flags it. And when you hang up, this is what we do affectionately call the stalker feature. I get a toaster pop, and I can call you if you had instant message. I can IM you, or I can snooze it if I'm busy. So I can see you as an operator, see all your presence, and I can break this up by site, department, however I want. If by chance, if you would, Mr. Powers, would you call me at 2114? I'm going to answer it. So I've got an answer here. We're talking away. And we're talking away. He was the operator. And if I want to transfer this to Jerry, I can go and don't answer this one too quick. I can just drag it as an operator, drop it on here. Oh, it's the wrong Jerry. I double click and I bring it back. Now I'm going to call that here. And if I want, right mouse click and drag it. And now, as an operator, I can do a blind transfer. I can consult. There's my whisper page. I've got all these rights and voicemail. I've got all these capabilities. This is what we generally tell folks to do with the operator license instead of the big console phones. If they want the sidecars and want all that, we can do it. Don't open them, because I can't take them back. In the Shoretel world, you can turn a license function on a license key for operator workers for 45 days for free. Don't go to day 46. We'll lock you out of directory. You won't be able to manage your system. It'll work, but you can't manage it. Then you gotta pay us a lot of money to be not happy. So trial something for 30 days. If they like it, call Karpel. They'll send you the license key after you pay for it. You type in license key, license key. So we do that operator for 30 days. If they like it, we take the button boxes back. If they don't, we go in and turn the operator license off and install button boxes away we go. But this is what the operator would see. And generally what the operators do is they take the contacts tab and put it on the second monitor. So they can work, do all the, it's generally, excuse the expression, odd jobs. They get all the stuff nobody else wants to do. And they can sit at their desk and do all those things while they're still answering the phones. So this is our operator license.
The operator license?
Yep.
45.
It's 45, I tell people 30, because it's kind of like when you tell me either 11:30 and I'm there at 11:40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
see what
kind
you're
of,
doing.
it's one of those deals.
I just blew it then.
That's out
Yeah.
Okay, no, don't listen to me, it's
Yeah.
30.
Because I got that call recently, they're like, we got today 46. And
What?
I let somebody use my demo kit and they turned some stuff on they weren't licensed for it. And I didn't use it. And I got on it on day 45 and said, you have 1 day left. A big red nasty banner, and I was like, turn it off. Or it would have locked my kid up and I'd have been in lots of trouble. So, and sometimes I don't even look at it. So that's kind of the function keys here. And then again, on the phone or soft keys, I have pick up, park, unpark, all that kind of fun stuff. So I literally can be walking around the office, and if there's a call for me, I can go to a phone, hit the pickup key, it's standard, type my extension in, and I can take the call right there. That's kind of just some of the different things we can do from a CRM perspective. I think that's pretty much anything else you guys want me to touch base on or show. I know I've shown a lot of stuff quick, but I